As of mid-August 2026, the United States wildland fire infrastructure is officially locked at Preparedness Level 5. This designation represents the highest echelon of national emergency resource deployment, triggered only when local and regional capacities are completely exhausted. Looking at the national incident matrix, there are exactly 93 uncontained large fires burning simultaneously across the country. Within these specific incidents, nearly 4 million acres are actively burning right now. When we factor in the year-to-date data, firefighters have responded to blazes covering over 6.5 million acres in 2026. To manage this footprint, 29,612 personnel are currently assigned to wildland fire operations nationally. These figures describe a system at its limit, where every available national resource is already committed to the line. At this saturation point, standard Type 1 response assets and Type 2 teams are fully depleted. Incident commanders are forced to abandon localized suppression tactics in favor of a sprawling, multi-agency interstate triage model. To understand exactly how the nation functions under this pressure, we have to deconstruct this map region by region. The sheer geographic scale of the crisis requires the activation of non-standard emergency logistical pipelines simply to maintain basic command and control. We start by isolating the Northwest Geographic Area Coordination Center, focusing specifically on Washington state. In the Northeast region, the Maud-Wright fire serves as a clear baseline for an incident that has outgrown traditional agency bounds. To sustain fire line operations here, the federal government mobilized 240 active-duty soldiers from the 7th Infantry Division's 1st Battalion, 23rd Infantry Regiment. These troops were deployed directly from Joint Base Lewis McChord. On the aerial front, military integration includes MAF's C-130 air tankers drawn from the Air Force Reserve and the California Air National Guard. These airframes remain strategically staged at Klamath Falls and Redding to provide rapid coverage across the Pacific Northwest. This military surge is supplemented internationally. A 15-member incident management team and 59 fire line personnel have been flown in from Australia and New Zealand. A single fire like Maud-Wright can no longer survive on state resources. Preventing catastrophic infrastructure loss requires a globally sourced, military-backed coalition. Expanding our view to encompass the entire Northwest GACC reveals the undisputed epicenter of this national crisis. Oregon and Washington are currently hosting more than 40 uncontained large fires between them. This regional map details Oregon's most severe incident, the Big Grass Fire in Nevada District, which has consumed 579,361 acres. Despite that 500,000-acre footprint, containment remains stuck at 34%, fueled by active, wind-driven runs. Further north in Washington, the 152,000-acre Sinlahican Fire and the 127,000-acre Little Giant Fire dominate the landscape. Managing this acreage introduces a logistical strain known as CIMT shuffling, the rotation of incident management teams to prevent burnout. On the Sinlahican Fire, we're tracking CAL FIRE Team 5 actively mobilizing to relieve Team 4 on the fire line. The Northwest is a pure, fuel-heavy environment where the immense volume of burning acreage demands an unsustainable, continuous rotation of the nation's elite management teams. Shifting our focus south and east to the Great Basin and Northern Rockies introduces a distinctly different threat profile across Nevada, Idaho, Utah, and Montana. A critical paradox is at play here. Scattered thunderstorms are passing through, yet extreme fire growth continues completely unabated. The mechanism neutralizing suppression efforts is a wave of high-based, dry, and mixed wet thunderstorms. These systems produce isolated lightning strikes well outside of their actual rain cores, sparking fresh ignitions in critically dry fuels. This diagram illustrates the most dangerous micro-weather variable currently plaguing incident commanders, the outflow gust. These sudden atmospheric downdrafts hit the Earth and generate erratic 35 to 45 mile-per-hour horizontal winds that violently spread in all directions. When these unpredictable outflow winds slam into an existing fire front, they instantly overrule all prevailing weather forecasts and render standard containment lines completely useless. We can apply this outflow model directly to the active operational crisis unfolding in the Carson City district of Nevada. Driven by these exact erratic winds, the bug fire has explosively grown by nearly 12,800 acres, pushing its total footprint past the 70,000-acre mark. Concurrently, the Stallion Fire near Nixon immediately ballooned to 33,000 acres, registering at 0% containment. This explosive growth directly correlates to the region's critically low relative humidity, which is bottoming out between 15 and 35%. This wind and dry air drives extreme crowning, running, and spotting behavior aggressively ahead of the main fire front. Incident commanders in the Great Basin are actively fighting a localized weather system that neutralizes human intervention. Zooming back out to view the entire western United States reveals two distinct crisis profiles operating simultaneously. We have the immense fuel-driven 500,000-acre megafires choking the Northwest, directly competing against the volatile, weather-driven explosive runs tearing through the Great Basin. This presents a critical logistical deadlock. Because both types of extreme fire behavior are peaking at the exact same time, interregional resource sharing is impossible. This precise geographic convergence of distinct vulnerabilities is what permanently locks the National Response Framework into Preparedness Level 5. Looking at the operational horizon through the lens of the mid-August Incident Management Situation Report, the immediate path forward is highly restricted. Topographical mapping will continue to lag behind actual fire growth, and containment percentages will remain statically low in the near term. The operational system cannot recover until macro-level relative humidity rises and convective thunderstorm activity entirely ceases across the West. Until that weather shift occurs, reliance on military battalions and international strike teams remains the mandatory standard operating procedure. The August 2026 data reflects the current state of the wildland fire infrastructure. It is now entirely consumed by reactive, system-wide triage.